I have started a new channel called Lanila Tales. Please subscribe and watch my best stories there. Link is in the description. They say every sniper knows when death is coming. They just do not expect it to fire back. Funny thing is, death is a polite guest. It knocks once. Tonight, it punched a hole in my world from 1,000 meters away. Snow blasted across the Arctic valley like a swarm of ghost insects. The cold was the kind that did not bite your skin anymore. It went inside and sat in your bones like a quiet enemy. I was lying prone on a ridge, crosshairs fixed on a dark shape across the frozen wasteland. A figure. A sniper. My target. Except this one did not breathe. At least, not like anything I had ever hunted before. My name is Ethan Cross. People call me the 100-Yard Reaper. That is what happens when your confirmed kill count becomes a rumor passed around at bars by soldiers who drink too much and fear too little. But none of that ever mattered. I am not addicted to the kill. I am addicted to the truth behind the trigger. Because the moment you pull it, the world changes. Tonight, it changed forever. I slowed my breathing. I was alone, forward recon, eyes on a rogue target identified by command as a foreign assassin tracking a NATO general in a secured base 20 miles south. My job was simple. Find the sniper. End the threat. Extract. Except command lied. They did not tell me what I was hunting. They sent me here like a blind man into a burning house. My gut knew it. My finger did not care. Wind speed 15 miles. Temperature -30. Distance exactly 1,000 meters. Classic long shot. Textbook. Except this silhouette moved wrong. Too stiff, too precise. Almost mechanical. He turned, looking straight at me through the blizzard as if he could smell my heartbeat. For one long second we stared at each other across the white emptiness. Two predators. No words. No mercy. I fired. The bullet cracked through the storm, cutting straight into his eye. He went down like a sack of lead. 30 seconds from spotting him to taking the shot. Clean. Professional. Clinical. Job done. Except the moment I stood up, something inside me whispered, that was too easy. My comm crackled. Cross, what is your status? Extraction team inbound. Confirm kill. I did not respond. Something about the target gnawed at me. So I went to see the body. That is when everything stopped making sense. His rifle was impossible. The matte black barrel was sleek, no manufacturing seams, no markings, no tech signatures. Like it was printed in one solid piece of metal. His armor felt like leather but cut my glove like a blade. And then I rolled him over and saw his face. He was not human. The skin was pale but under it pulsed faint green light. Veins glowed. Bones were too dense. The skull structure was wrong. The chest armor was punctured where my bullet had entered, but when I cut the fabric open, I saw two hearts beating slowly, independently, like engines cooling after battle. My mind froze. Every instinct screamed run. Every soldier instinct said secure the body. Every human instinct whispered you just started something you cannot finish. Then black helicopters appeared from nowhere. No identification marks. No flight logs. No official authorization. The kind of birds you only see when governments lie. Men in black tactical suits surrounded me. Ethan Cross, hands off the body now. I raised my weapon. They raised 12. Pain hit my head and the world went dark. When I woke, I was handcuffed to a metal table in a room that smelled like disinfectant and fear. A woman in a gray uniform entered. Sharp eyes, colder than the Arctic. She said her name like a sentence. Director Voss. Project Black Glass. She placed a device on the table. It was my bullet. Clean. Examined. Inside the casing were microscopic symbols I had never seen before. Runes carved into metal. She pushed a folder toward me. This does not leave this room, she said. You will not speak of tonight or the asset you terminated. You will sign this confidentiality order. You will return to your civilian cover. And you will forget this ever happened. Asset. They called him an asset. That was the first sign something was wrong. They were not shocked I had killed something non-human. They were annoyed I had interfered. I leaned forward and asked, what was he? Voss did not blink. Need to know, she said. I looked straight into her eyes. I need to know. She paused. You just killed a classified extraterrestrial entity, she said. That is all you need to know. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because sometimes laughter is the last shield between you and insanity. She did not laugh back. The universe is bigger than you can imagine, Cross. We are not alone. We never were. She slid a pen to me. Sign. Walk away. Live. I signed. Because I knew that signature meant nothing. They would never let me just walk away. They released me on a frozen road 10 miles from the nearest town. No phone. No gear. No trace I had ever been in the Arctic. My military records vanished. My digital footprint erased. Ethan Cross did not exist anymore. But I am hard to delete. I made it back to civilization 2 days later, hitchhiking in frozen silence. I reached my apartment. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Lights off. Curtains closed. But the air tasted wrong. Someone had been here. I grabbed my hidden pistol and moved slow. Silent. That is when I saw it. A single bullet had been placed upright on my kitchen table. Identical to mine. Same runic symbols carved into the casing. But this bullet was still warm. Which means someone had been here minutes ago. In my home. Watching me. There was also a note taped to the chair. The handwriting was not human. Sharp, elongated strokes, as if written by a hand not meant for pens. I read it. You killed me. I am coming. I froze. I had put a bullet through his eye. I watched him die. I saw the body. But that note. You killed me. Present tense. Not past. Present. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered. I saw you through my scope, Ethan Cross. Your 30 seconds are over. Now we hunt. The voice was not human. And yet, it spoke my name with perfect clarity. Before I could speak, the line cut off. Then my living room window shattered from a suppressed gunshot. I dropped behind the couch, rolling and firing 3 shots toward the street. Nothing but silence. My mind raced. If he was alive, he wanted me to know. He wanted me afraid. Snipers do not send threat. They send bullets. Which meant this was something else. A challenge. A declaration. I heard a metallic click behind me. I spun, gun raised. But no one was there. Only cold air and a lingering scent of iron. I realized then. Something had followed me home. Something that could walk between worlds. Something I could not see. I thought the worst part of hunting monsters was killing them. I was wrong. The worst part is when they start hunting you back. The night after the message from the one I killed was the longest of my life. Not because I could not sleep, but because sleep felt like a death sentence. I kept moving from window to window, checking rooftops with my scope, searching for a sniper I knew was out there. Waiting. Watching. Not pulling the trigger yet. Someone once said fear is not real danger. Anticipation is. There was no anticipation greater than waiting for a bullet you knew was coming but did not know when. I barely trusted my own pulse by morning, so I packed a duffel bag, grabbed my rifles, switched apartments, and burned everything connecting me to Ethan Cross. I had gone ghost before in covert ops, but this time I was not hiding from enemy spies. I was hiding from something that did not belong on this planet. Something that had already died once and still came back. The next 48 hours were pure survival. I stayed off-grid. No cards, no cell tower pings. I hijacked an abandoned warehouse in the old fishing district off Anchorage, rigged the roof with motion trip wires and thermal sensors, set up a blind sniper nest inside a broken ventilation chamber, and waited. He would find me again. I knew he would. The bullet with alien runes on my kitchen table was not just a threat. It was a tag. That meant wherever he was, he had eyes on me. And that meant he could shoot anytime he wanted. But he did not. Not immediately. Which was worse. On the third night I spotted a trail. Someone had breached my outer perimeter and left footprints in the slush. Not alien footprints. Human. Standard boot tread, lightweight tactical, not military grade, probably female gait long stride, slight uneven step in the right heel. Worn down boot sole. I aimed my rifle down the alley expecting an operative from black glass. Instead I got the most unexpected thing I had seen since an alien sniper tried to kill me 1,000 meters away. She walked straight into my line of fire wearing a weatherproof jacket and a satchel full of folders and old books. She did not even flinch. She looked up at my hidden nest and spoke calmly. "You are not crazy. He is alive. And you cannot run from him." I kept her in my scope. "Who are you?" "My name is Mara Kepler," she said. "I study things that do not make sense. Like you. Can we talk?" There are two types of people in this world. Those who panic when they know a sniper is targeting them, and those who stare coldly into the barrel of the unknown and ask for a conversation. I lowered my rifle. Anyone that fearless was either a genius or insane. And sometimes those two things look exactly the same. Inside my hideout she studied me like I was part of an experiment. She spoke with careful words but sharp intention. "You were sent to kill an extraterrestrial sniper. You succeeded. But he did not stay dead. He rebuilt himself. That should not be possible. Unless he is not alone. People should not talk so casually about aliens like they were talking about the weather." I leaned back, silent, calculating. Her eyes tracked me closely. "You do not trust me. That is good. You should not trust anyone right now. Then why are you here?" "Because they sent him after you," she said. "The alien you shot. He is not just a soldier. He is something much worse. He is a hunter." "Hunter of what?" "War criminals. Traitors. Threats to his empire. But someone pointed him at you. Which means someone wants you erased." "Who is they?" She hesitated. That was not a good sign. "Black glass," she said quietly. I laughed bitterly. "Figures. They knew exactly what he was. They knew what I was walking into that night. They are not a government agency. They are a private group funded by something we do not even have a category for. And they are not protecting Earth. They are keeping it in check. Examining it like a lab sample. And now they are moving to Phase 2. Phase 2 of what?" Before she could answer, the brick wall behind us exploded inwards from a suppressed blast. Dust ripped through the air and peppered my face. I threw Mara down and snapped my rifle up. No target. No muzzle flash. No thermal signature. He was here. One shot had crushed solid brick from nearly a kilometer away. That was not a warning shot. That was a demonstration. I recognized the sound signature. A deep hum behind the impact. Alien weaponry. Compressed rail technology in a sniper design. Deadly accurate. Capable of destroying tank armor if tuned properly. He was testing me. Letting me know I was fun prey. Another shot whistled past, shaving the metal pipes near my head. He was moving. Fast. His firing intervals were short but consistent. An apex shooter, rotating position after every shot. Working the angles. Hurting us. "He wants you alive," Mara said between breaths. "How do you know?" "Because if he wanted you dead, he would have ended you already." Reassuring. But she was right. So what was he doing? Hunting games. Ritual combat. Testing my skill before a final kill. That made sense. A sniper lives by one code. Precision kills. But predators like him live by another. Honor through dominance. He was not just here to kill me. He wanted to beat me. Which meant he wanted me to chase him. Which meant I would not. I waited. Wait too long and you die anyway. Mara grabbed my arm and dragged me into the basement stairwell just before another shot caved in the roof. She knew his patterns. She knew how he hunted. That meant she knew more than she was telling me. We moved underground through old sewer tunnels and reached the industrial rail yard 3 blocks away. I pulled Mara behind a rusted locomotive and trained my spotter scope along the rooftop. There. 2 clicks north. Peripheral glint. movement just enough to show a lens halo. He was perched inside a scaffolding frame between exposed concrete. Perfect sniper's nest. But his positioning was odd. He was not hidden. He wanted me to find him. Like a signal. You were right, Mara said. He is challenging you. Then why is he waiting? Because this is personal. You killed him once. Where is he from? She answered in a whisper so quiet it was almost fear. The Zither Dominion. Never heard of them. You would not have. He is an elite marksman. A royal hunter from a militaristic world you would not survive an hour on. They do not kill for money or orders. They kill by oath. Oath to what? To vengeance. You killed one of their own. They do not allow unfinished blood. I adjusted focus. Through the glass I could see him now. Black armor. Bone-white skin. One eye scarred where I had shot him. A mark of dishonor and survival. He had modified his face, embedding metal plating and alien circuitry into his skull. The wounds I gave him remained visible by choice. Not weakness. Reminder. Our eyes met again across 2,000 meters of frozen city. He did not flinch. He raised a sealed capsule and crushed it. A signal flare erupted, green and unnatural. It painted the sky with alien patterns. A message. A challenge. I suddenly understood. The first attack had not been a hit attempt. It was a summons. He wanted a duel. He wanted this done by his rules. Mara read my expression. He has invoked ritual code. It means he will hunt you by honor now. No more shadows. No more traps. He is telling you the hunt has begun. You cannot run anymore. So I hunt him first. No. You will not win if you go alone. You need to know why he is here. He is here for me. No. He is here because someone sent him. And I know who. The rail yard wind moaned like a wounded animal while I stared at the alien bullet in my hand. The runes carved into it seemed to pulse faint green, like a heartbeat. A message, a contract, a death notice. My death notice. Mara stood beside me, silent but wired with tension. Her eyes followed every shadow, every rooftop, every angle. She looked like someone who had spent years running and finally decided to stop. I understood that feeling. It was the moment you realized running only let the enemy pick the place where you died. Standing your ground was the only way to choose where you made them bleed. Mara broke the silence. You want to know the truth, she said. Then you have to see it yourself. Black glass will not stop coming after you, not now. They sent the signal to the hunter to eliminate you. They want their mess cleaned up. I slid the bullet into my pocket. So what is their endgame? She hesitated. Then she reached into her satchel and pulled out a small black device. A tracking key. She handed it to me. I stole this from their field division. It can unlock doors in any of their hidden facilities. There is one nearby, but we have to move fast. They will change the access codes soon. You need to know something before we move, I said. You keep talking like you know them. Were you one of them? Her jaw tightened. I was not one of them. But I used to work with them. Before I found out what they really were. I did not push further. Answers would come. They always did. Answers had a funny way of showing up just before bullets did. Usually in the same room. We traveled underground through abandoned service tunnels until we reached the outskirts of the ice forest near the coast. From there it was a 3-mile hike across frozen terrain until we reached a canyon carved by centuries of wind. The structure hidden inside it was impossible to miss. A steel door 10 meters tall carved into the rock face. No markings. No roads. No way in without knowing it existed. Black glass liked hiding where the world could not look. Mara activated the key at a concealed panel. A soft tone hummed. The door opened, revealing a long descent into a metal underworld humming with electricity. Every step echoing behind us sounded louder than it should. Every footfall woke the feeling that eyes were watching us from vents and floors and ceilings. My gut whispered this would be easy to enter and hell to escape. We headed deeper past security doors that retracted like breathing metal lungs. The deeper we went, the stranger the architecture became. This was not just a black operations base. This was something else. Alien tech fused with human design. I could feel it. It felt wrong. It felt unnatural. Like the air molecules were heavier. Like gravity was different. Like we had just stepped into a forbidden dimension. We reached a viewing deck that overlooked a massive chamber. What I saw below made my blood freeze. Rows of pods stretched the length of a football field. Inside each one was something that should not exist. Creatures. Machinery. Hybrid things. Things I could not even describe. Some were clearly alien. Others were human but altered. Their skin pulsed faint light. Their eyes flickered open then closed again. Sedated. Alive. What is this place? I asked. Project Blackglass, Mara said. Their mission was never defense. It was acquisition. They discovered extraterrestrial life decades ago. But they did not report it. They harvested it. Tried to weaponize it. Trade it. Sell it. This is not a lab. This is a vault. A vault of what? Souls. The elevator systems rumbled nearby. Mara stiffened. Someone else was in the facility. And from the quiet discipline of the noise it was clear they were not guards. They moved like hunters. We descended a maintenance ladder and slipped behind a row of pods. I scanned the catwalk above us. 2 operatives in black body armor scanned the area with rifles that did not use bullet. Their weapons glowed faintly. Energy rifles. Human hands were not supposed to have that kind of technology. Thank you, Blackglass. Mara motioned me to follow her down a side corridor. We reached a secured door. She placed the access key on the panel. The locks groaned. When the door opened, I realized this room was not part of the main design. No windows. No surveillance. No lighting except emergency panels. Whatever they kept here was not meant to be seen. Inside was a prison chamber made of reinforced glass and advanced energy shielding. 4 chairs were arranged in the center. 3 were bolted to the ground. The 4th was exploded outward. Broken. Something had escaped from it. Blood or liquid of some kind was splattered across the walls. Green. Familiar. Karan was held here, Mara said quietly. The hunter. She nodded. They captured him. Tried to turn him. But the Zither do not break. They kill or die. So how am I still alive? He wants honor. He wants the thrill. His people are built on purpose. You shot him once. A perfect shot. You humiliated a Zither elite in combat. That is not something they let go. He will not stop until the duel is complete. Then we stack the odds, I said. I want everything you know on the Zither. Habits. Tech weakness. Anything that bleeds them. Mara locked eyes with me for a long moment. There is a way to fight him, but you are not going to like it. Try me. We do not kill him. I stared at her in disbelief. Did you get hit on the way in, Mara? He is hunting me. He is going to kill me. And you are saying do not kill him. We do not kill him until we know who sent him, she said. Think about it. If Blackglass wanted you dead, they could have terminated you the moment they wiped your identity. But they did not. They sent him instead. They want you broken. They want the duel. Why? Because they need him to eliminate you. You are their loose end. Then why not just kill me themselves? Because someone wants you erased by something untraceable. A ghost kill. No fingerprints. No evidence. No political footprint. And maybe because someone in their chain of command is afraid of you. Or what you know. Or what you could find. I processed it. She was right. Blackglass could have ended me easily. But they wanted a witnessless execution. They wanted a myth. A sniper killed by a ghost. Case closed. But why? I need proof, I said. Then you are going to want to see this. She powered up a console near the broken cell. Files appeared. Thousands of mission logs. Code sequences. Alien languages. Captured specimens. Then I saw it. An image still file with a face I recognized. Director Voss. Beneath her image was a line of text. Project title. War Seed Initiative. What is that? Click it. I did. A video feed opened. Director Voss stood over a tank filled with glowing fluid. Inside floated something moving. Something humanoid. Something not born but built. And the note beside it made my pulse spike. Human Xyther Hybrid Combat Unit. Mara spoke softly. They are planning something bigger than you and me. They are not defending Earth. They are preparing it for something. We turned to leave, but a voice echoed across the chamber like thunder inside a coffin. You should not have come here, Ethan Cross. A cold dread froze my spine. I knew that voice, but it was impossible. It came from behind us. Yet I had not heard a door open. Had not seen movement. No heat signature. Nothing. Then he stepped out of the shadows. Karan Vallis, the alien hunter I killed. Alive. Stronger. Standin'. The air in the broken containment chamber felt too thin to breathe, as if Karan Vallis had walked in and taken the oxygen with him. He stood like a statue carved from bone and war, motionless but ready to strike at a moment's shift in gravity. His single eye locked onto mine with a stare that was not human and would never pretend to be. We faced each other surrounded by glass prisons, alien horrors, and human sins. I had killed him once. He had come back for me. But now his words cut through everything I thought I understood. He claimed Earth was already at war. Worse, he claimed I did not know who started it. I raised my rifle slowly until it rested leveled at his head. My voice came out hard. You should be dead. He answered with something that almost resembled a smirk. You are not the first who thought they killed me. Mara stood between us like a wire ready to snap. She looked at Karan, then at me, and spoke fast. Do not shoot him. We need answers. I do not need his answers, I said. I need him gone. Karan took one step forward. You misunderstand. I did not come to negotiate. I came to finish the hunt. His hand reached for his weapon. Mine tightened around the trigger. But instead of drawing, he threw something at my feet. I flinched back, expecting a trap. Instead I found a data card, cracked, smeared with something dark and dried. I retrieved this before your masters erased your existence, he said. It holds classified truth. You are a pawn. I thought you were my target. Now I know the truth. You and I were both used. His words did not land easily. Trusting an extraterrestrial hunter who swore a blood oath on my death was not high on my list of smart decisions. In fact, it ranked slightly below juggling grenades blindfolded. But something in his tone was different. His fury had been replaced by purpose. That frightened me more than his rage. Before I could respond, alarms exploded across the facility. Red warning lights flashed. Steel shutters crashed down in hallways around us like thunder. Black glass had found us. We cannot stay here, Mara said. They will flood the lower chambers and gas everything inside. Karan did not flinch. It will not matter. They will not let any of us leave alive. I loaded a new mag into my rifle. Then we make them regret trying. Mara, get that card decrypted. We move now. Karan spoke calmly. Escape will require cooperation. I shot him a look. Last I checked you were here to kill me. I am, he said. His eye narrowed. But not yet. We cut through the corridors as heavy shutters blocked most exit. Robotic defense turrets dropped from ceilings and sparkled to life, scanning for targets. Their faces turned to mine and locked. I snapped my rifle up and fired. Karan lunged past me with inhuman speed, slamming his fist through the nearest turret's metal throat and ripping it free like tearing paper. Mara ducked behind a control console. I will never get used to watching you do that, I muttered. He did not respond. We reached a sealed blast door. Only Black Glass Command could open it. Mara's hands flew over the panel. They upgraded security since I last left, she said. Access is locked behind DNA encryption. So use your DNA, I said. Her hands froze over the keys. That is not an option. Why not? Because they still have my DNA signature flagged as property. I stared at her. Property. She did not look up. They wanted to use me as a research subject. They know what I am. A chill traced my spine. What exactly are you? The door locks disengaged. She exhaled shakily and avoided the question. Later. We ran again. Emergency lights flickered across metal corridors like veins of blood beneath skin. From behind us came the unmistakable sound of company. Boot. Tactical formation. Close. I signaled the nearest stairwell. Third floor sniper deck. High ground. Go. Karan nodded once. For the first time he moved at my direction. We reached the upper level and broke into a large industrial bay overlooking the facility floor. From here we could see everything. Black glass strike teams stormed in through reinforced doors. 3 squads. Heavy armor. Hunter protocols. They knew Karan was here. I took position behind a cargo crate and set my bipod. Targets locked. 12 shooters advancing in triangle formation. Sweep pattern tight. I breathed out slow and let instinct take over. The quiet of the sniper mind wrapped around me. 1 shot. 1 breath. 1 ending at a time. I fired. First target down. Second. Third. They scattered and returned fire with pulse rifles. Karan charged straight into the barrage, weaving through shots with unnatural precision. He crushed one soldier's helmet with bare hands. Another he stabbed through the visor using his own shattered armor plate. He was a storm of controlled violence. Mara shouted over the gunfire. Keep them off us. Decrypting the card now. I focused between covering fire and watching for new threat. A fresh wave hit our flank. We adjusted. The battle became brutal. Personal. The kind where every shot had intent behind it. I saw one of the black glass operatives reload behind cover. I tracked the movement. Her hand trembled. She was afraid. Not of me. Of whoever sent her here. Mara finished cracking the data card. I have it. But you both need to see this. She pressed play on a nearby console and projected a file across the wall. It was a mission log. Top clearance. Black glass operation seating directive. The footage showed Director Voss standing coldly in a war room. Her voice filled the bay. Humanity is inefficient alone. Our evolution requires external mass pressure stimulus. We will trigger expansion using engineered conflict. The next file played automatically. It was not video. It was a map. Earth. Covered in marked impact points. Alien crash sites. Hundreds. Dating back decades. Karan stared. These are false crash signals. Probes designed to manipulate communication network. Mara swallowed. Look closer. Crash sites were not scattered randomly. They traced along tectonic fault lines and beneath military bases. Alien artifacts were not accidents. They had been planted. And someone knew about it the whole time. They have been hiding their existence by staging every extraterrestrial event as accidental, Mara said. They have been using alien resources for years. But that is not the worst part. There is a Phase 3. I found it before she played it. The final file. War trigger sequence. A hybrid fleet designed for atmospheric breach. Command override keyed to one signature. Director Voss. Karan clenched his fist until metal groaned. They are not preparing for war. They are engineering one. Hardware inside the walls began charging. A shrill energy whine overloaded machinery. Karan moved first, pulling us behind a reactor column. Run, he said. This place is about to detonate. There was only one way out now. Straight through those soldiers. Black glass was purging the entire facility to cover their plans. I slammed a fresh mag into my rifle. When I turned, Karan was already looking at me. Our eyes met and there was no need for words. We were no longer enemies. We were survivors of the same lie. We broke cover together. Moved like shadow and lightning. We tore through the enemy line and reached the loading bay. Behind us flames burst through the corridors. The entire facility roared like the inside of a volcano waking up. Night stretched over the ruined desert outpost like a burial shroud as we closed in on the hidden black glass headquarters. It did not exist on any map, not even in shadow archives. But Mara had once worked inside their systems and left back doors that not even their directors knew existed. With Ka-Ren's alien tracking sense, my sniper recon skills, and Mara's knowledge of the enemy's technology, we had something close to a fighting chance. But even a fighting chance felt like a lie. We were going to war with an enemy that did not fear bullet. They feared exposure. That made them dangerous. The facility stood buried beneath the earth, hidden by desert and night, protected by enough firepower to erase a small nation. It was not a government stronghold. It was a fortress built by money and secrecy. Project Black Glass headquarters. Every answer we needed waited inside. So did Director Voss. The same woman who erased my life and sent an alien hunter to finish me like an unpleasant mistake. But now we were coming for her. We scouted from a dune ridge overlooking the valley. The rocky wasteland stretched for miles with no signs of life. Except for the ground patrols using cloaked carriers, invisible to normal eyes. But Ka-Ren saw them clearly. 4 patrols. 12 soldiers each. Bioshields active, he said. Not regular soldiers. Modified, Mara added. Some of them are not fully human anymore. I adjusted my scope. Their eyes were wrong. Too still. Too cold. They moved like clockwork, not people. Cybernetic implant. Neural control. Black Glass wanted obedience and efficiency. Humanity was an obstacle. And obstacles are made to be removed. How do we breach the bunker without triggering the planetary defense grid? I asked. We do not go through the front, Mara said. We go through the ghost door. She pointed to a point on a digital overlay. The bunker had a secondary emergency entrance 2 miles east, buried beneath compacted stone. Invisible to radar and geoscan. But Mara had been here before. She knew the code to open it. Ka-Ren watched her closely. Why do you help us? You could have run. She answered without flinching. Because hiding does not stop people like Voss. Someone has to burn their empire down before they burn the world. I am done being their experiment. His eye narrowed with new curiosity. He could tell she was hiding something. So could I. We moved under cloak fields, sprinting in low silence between rock formations until we reached a cracked canyon wall. Mara located a false stone, scanned her print, and the ground rumbled. A panel slid open, revealing a shaft leading deep beneath the surface. Ka-Ren dropped first and landed in darkness. I followed, rifle drawn, adrenaline sharpening every sound. Mara sealed the shaft behind us. The bunker interior was a mechanical maze. The lighting was sterile and white. The walls were polished titanium alloy. Cameras lined the corridors. But the path we used was old maintenance architecture, long forgotten. It had not seen a cleaning crew or patrol in years. We navigated silently through the corridors. Above us, heavy machinery hummed. Somewhere deeper, generators throbbed like beating metal hearts. As we advanced, we saw things that made the Arctic vault look tame. Harvested alien organs floated in suspension tanks. Cybernetic spines hung from hooks like trophies. Alien skulls wired to human technology flickered with dead energy. They were dissecting other worlds and sewing their parts into ours. Black Glass does not plan to protect Earth, Mara said. They plan to control it. And whatever is coming. What is coming? I asked. She paused. Her voice lowered. Unification. Enslavement. Depends on who you ask. We moved toward the central command hub. A reinforced vault door blocked our path. Behind it would be Voss's war desk and control systems. Ka-Ren placed a hand against the panel. He closed his eye. He was listening. For guards inside, he said. No heartbeat. Cybernetic. I will handle it, I said. No. They are wired to an alarm trigger. We must neutralize them without sound. Mara cracked an access panel and hacked into the control system. Ka-Ren and I prepared to breach. When she killed the lights, we moved. Total blackout. Perfect. I slipped into the room like a knife. 4 silhouettes scanned the room in infrared. They could see in darkness. So I became darkness. One by one I broke neural spines, severed joints, crushed larynxes. Ka-Ren moved faster and cleaner than I did. The kind of silent killing that would terrify demons. In 8 seconds the room was clear. Mara entered and locked the door behind us. The war desk floated in the center of the room, a panoramic hollow table linked to every global defense system like a digital god. The main console pulsed with Voss's encryption signature. "She is here," Mara said. "Somewhere inside." I scanned the table. Recent activity logs scrolled. Atmospheric readings. Fleet mobilization data. Weapon test reports. A strange signal pattern kept repeating. Something broadcasting from orbit. A transmission meant to look like background cosmic noise. But it was not noise. It was code. Karin stiffened. "That pattern. That is not natural. That is a summoning call." Mara looked alarmed. "Summoning who?" Karen's voice was grim. "Zither war fleets." "You said your people were scattered," I said. "You said they were not invading." "They are not," he answered. "But someone is telling them Earth attacked first. This signal is a war beacon. It does not ask for help. It gives permission to eradicate." Mara uncovered the source. The beacon was triggered from an uplink tower buried even deeper in the facility. Worse, there were automated launch protocols layered into it. In 5 hours, the full beacon would broadcast to every Zither ship in range. They would see it as a call for annihilation. "Voss is going to sacrifice Earth to start a war," Mara said. "She wants to force an off-world invasion so she can unleash her hybrid army and sell Earth's loyalty to the highest interstellar bidder. She is not defending humanity. She is auctioning it." I clenched my fist. "Enough. We find Voss. We stop this." Mara pointed to a new terminal window. A biometric signal had just entered the command chamber level. "She is coming here." We set up positions. Karin stood in plain view like a ghost judge waiting for trial. I took the shadows. Mara stayed at the desk to keep control of the systems. Then the elevator opened and Voss walked into the room like she owned the universe. Because in her mind she did. "Ethan Cross," she said as if greeting a dinner guest. "And the alien. Both still alive. How inconvenient." "You played us," I said from the dark. She ignored me and looked at Karin with a smile. "What does honor taste like when your weapons fail you? You failed your empire. Now you serve mine. That is evolution." He did not blink. "Your lies end here." She laughed. "I do not lie. I win." Then Mara stepped into view. "Hello, Voss." Voss froze. For the first time her expression cracked. "You should be dead." The chase for Voss led us through the burning veins of the black glass compound, deeper into its mechanical bowels. Flames roared behind us as security barriers slammed down and emergency systems shrieked like dying metal. The countdown had begun. If the beacon fully activated, Earth would light up like a flare in a predator's sky, and an interstellar fleet would descend with enough fire to burn continents. Voss had not lost. She had only moved to the final phase. Mara pushed herself forward even though her movements were strained by whatever control mechanism Voss had triggered inside her. Karin moved beside her, covering our flank in silent, lethal readiness. We reached the final descent level, a vertical chamber lined with cables and rotating turbines where heat shimmered from the reactor below. At the far end of the catwalk stood an armored elevator descending to the beacon core. Voss was inside it. I aimed and fired, but the bullet sparked off the closing door. Too late. She was going down. The war was getting ready to start without us. I scanned quickly and spotted an alternate maintenance shaft leading down alongside the elevator track. Steel, narrow, and almost suicidal. Perfect. "There," I said. We dropped. Karin went first without hesitation. I followed and Mara came last. We descended hand over hand, sliding against cables that burned our palms. Alarms wailed like sirens from deep inside the Earth. The reactor core was below us now, and the heat turned the air thick and poisonous. The shaft opened into a vast spherical chamber, where colossal machinery surrounded a central spire pulsing with blue energy. That spire was the beacon, and near it a final platform awaited the end of the world. Voss stood there, flanked by armored guards in exosuits and charged plasma shields. These were not ordinary soldiers. They were command sentinels, wired to obey until death. Their armor hummed with alien hybrid energy. Behind them sat a console with an ominous glow. Voss had already begun the transmission sequence. I took cover behind an intake column while Karin landed next to me, crouched with predatory precision. Mara slid next to us, fighting for breath but finding her focus as she accessed a small terminal connected to the console wiring. "I can slow down the transmission, but I cannot stop it from here," she said. "You need to get to the core node and destroy it." "Where is it?" I asked. She pointed to a reinforced sphere suspended in the center of the room, hovering above a bottomless pit of machinery. The only access path was a narrow bridge 30 meters long, exposed and in full view of the enemy firing line. "That is a death walk," I said. "Not if one of us draws their fire," Karin said. The way he said it told me everything. He had already decided who that would be. "No," I said. "You still owe me that duel. You do not get to die until it is done." He looked at me not with anger but with something new. "Respect. Battleborn, earned respect. Your duel will be honored. But your people will not live long enough to see it if that beacon lights the sky." Mara cut into the wiring while Voss watched from across the platform, her voice echoing with bitter triumph. "Do you see now, Ethan Cross? You never understood what was truly at stake. Power is not taken by truth. It is taken by force. There is no war unless someone lights the match. Today, I light galaxies." "Your mind is broken, Voss," I said. "No," she answered. "I am awake." She gave the order. "Fire." The guards raised their rifles and the room erupted into a storm of blazing energy fire. Karin vaulted forward with speed that defied gravity, drawing the full barrage. He deflected one blast with a broken shield, another he dodged by as little as a ghost moving through air. But he absorbed several shots, his armor cracking and burning. He kept moving. Mara accessed the grid. "I can open a force path to the core for 40 seconds max. After that the whole platform will overload. Ethan, go now." I sprinted through the chaos. Karin carved a path ahead of me, skewering one guard with his forearm blade and blasting another with their own weapon. I dived over a fallen support beam as plasma scorched the air overhead. When I reached the start of the bridge, the full horror of the path hit me. One wrong move, one stray shot, and I would fall into darkness. Karin blocked the path behind me like a wall of vengeance. "Go," he snarled. "And this." I ran. Energy blasts scorched the bridge. My rifle was nearly dry, so I holstered it and drew my sidearm, firing in controlled rhythm as I ran. I reached the center platform where the core sat like the heart of a god. The structure was made of alien metal and wrapped in rotating seals. There was no door, no panels, only motion. Mara's voice came through my comm. "You have to overload it by hand. Get to the inner coil and force a magnetic surge. But Ethan, if you do that the surge will kill you too." I smiled without meaning to. "That is fine. I only need 30 seconds. I leaped onto the rotating plates and forced my way into the inner core before the shields spun closed around me. Inside was a never-ending vortex of energy, a spiral of light. I reached the coil, grabbed the override rods, and began forcing them apart. Sparks burned my arms. Blood filled my gloves. But the rods finally began to separate. Outside, Karin was bleeding badly, still fighting like a demon. Mara ripped control keys from dead consoles as she worked to stall the beacon countdown. Voss screamed over the intercom. "You cannot stop this. You do not have the will." That is when Karin did something I will never forget. With every ounce of strength he had left, he lifted a fallen rifle. But he did not aim at the enemy. He aimed at me. Not to kill. To help. He knew the rods were locked by magnetic resistance. They needed a kinetic strike. He backed up, raised the alien rifle, and yelled over the comm, "Ethan Cross, hear my oath. Honor in battle. Truth in death. I see you." He fired. The energy blast slammed into the rod assembly, shattering its final lock. The core screamed. Light exploded. A shock wave ripped through every coil. I fell backward as the beacon began to collapse. But the beacon also sent a pulse upward. A partial call. Enough to alert someone. Enough to be heard. Karan collapsed. Mara screamed his name. I pulled myself out as the beacon tower buckled. Voss stared from across the chamber, frozen in shock. Her empire was falling apart, one burning circuit at a time. I dragged myself to Karan as Mara tried to stabilize him. He looked at me with that single burning eye. You finished it. He coughed once. Then he gave me our final truth. You are a warrior. And now you walk with two worlds. His chest stopped rising. His hand slipped from my arm. Karan Valis, Zyther Hunter, died not as my enemy but as my brother in battle. I had killed him once. This time he chose his own death. And he gave it meaning. Voss tried to escape. I was done giving her chances. I picked up a fallen rifle and fired a shot that shattered the lift controls. She was trapped now, like a rat in the burning machine she had built. Her final words were venom. This changes nothing. They are coming. Maybe they are, I said. But I will be waiting.